Okay, so here's an idea that you may not have heard of or may not have even thought of. I'm gonna try to talk loud because there's traffic coming down the street. And the idea is to get started in a short-term rental / vacation rental business, but with very little startup costs, as in you don't have to go purchase a property. And how you can do this is through a process called rental arbitrage, or otherwise known as subleasing. So how this works is basically you lease a property and then sublease it out as a short-term rental. So there are pros and cons to this. First, you have to find a landlord who is willing to let you do this, or who does not have a sublease clause in their lease. I know a lot of landlords do. Personally, my lease has a no subletting clause in it, because as a landlord, it's risky to let somebody sublease. But the pros of doing this for somebody who's trying to get into real estate investing, especially in the short-term / vacation rental market, is that it's a low startup cost. So really, as compared to purchasing a property, you generally, for arbitrage, just do first month's rent, last month's rent, a security deposit. If the landlord is aware that you're going to be doing rental arbitrage, there may be a larger security deposit required. But it's relatively low startup, and it's easy to set up. Furnish the property, simply, and get it online and go. It's a great way to build capital for future investments, or for purchasing your own short-term rental at some point. Another pro is that you can use it for your personal use also. So if you do it somewhere else, somewhere that you like, somewhere tropical, somewhere remote, whatever, that's also an added benefit. And then as a landlord, a pro is that this type of leasing can help you fill a vacancy for the long term. So if you own a multifamily or whatever, it'll help keep your vacancy rate down, because generally people who are doing rental arbitrage want to sign a longer than a 1-year lease. So cons are that there's more responsibility. You're dealing with somebody else's property, not your own. It's risky. Your profits and your bookings can be affected by seasonality, and so it's a little bit more risky for building capital rather. And so you do have also extra risks for damage, wear and tear. Again, it's somebody else's property that you're essentially subleasing, but it's a really good way to get into the market if you are a little bit of a risk taker and you've got a landlord that's willing to let you do it. A wonderful way to kind of get your toes wet, get your feet in. Trying to think of whatever other little cliche type sayings I can use, but it's a good way to get started in the short-term rental market. If you're a landlord and are thinking about letting somebody do arbitrage on your property, you do have to consider, if it's a single family home, if it's in an HOA, they might have their own rules. You do have to look at what the zoning rules are, and then also if it's in a condo, if they allow short-term rentals as well. So there's a lot of rules and things to look up, but it's a great way to get started. Have a great day.